Rohit, let's get the snowball rolling here first and foremost. What do you make of this entire, consumer court battle that played out? Has the verdict finally and fundamentally changed this E20 debate? Because it seems like Maruti Suzuki has come out with their own statement. They say there were several key details that were left out. Our car was absolutely compliant with the E20 engine. But then again, a lot of other motorists out there, they're quite happy with this consumer forum in Raipur finally taking some action.
You know what? It's a very, very interesting thing that has happened. And for me, this entire movement that we're currently having with a lot of people raising questions about E20, whether we have the choice, whether it's
Hmm.
good or not, I somehow see this like a sort of a movement. And when you consider this entire thing where consumers are coming up, raising their voices about getting a choice, when you think about it like a movement, right?
Yes. Yeah.
This consumer court forum, the decision that they have made, it's a part of that movement towards a time that might be beneficial for end consumers like you and I and the choice that we get in the car. Now, you know, I'm no technical expert, so I'm not going to be diving into the fact whether ethanol is genuinely going to be very, very bad for engines. But because of this Maruti Suzuki case that has come up,
Yeah.
we are actually going to learn about quite a few things, particularly about fuel contamination.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I feel that it's very good that this consumer court forum has made a decision in favor of the consumers, have offered the person either a complete refund in the car or getting a brand new E20 car. Because see, even in the case of this Maruti, I was trying to do my research,
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
figure out why this person faced problems with their cars. Let's give the benefit of the doubt to the government over here. I'm not saying we should give the benefit of the doubt to the government, but let's say that we give them the benefit of the doubt.
Understood.
Let's say that ethanol is not the reason why this Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara faced problems. But I'll tell you what the problem is. Now, the way that petrol mixes with water or ethanol mixes with water are two completely different things. When petrol and water come together, let's say there's some water contamination in a fuel tank, let's
Yeah.
say a fuel station.
The company failed to prove whether the vehicle was E20 compatible. It ordered the manufacturer to replace this SUV with E20 compatible model in about 45 days' time, or refund 20.5 lakh rupees, including the RTO and the insurance, 1 lakh rupees compensation for mental harassment over here as well. And it's about 5-6 times that the car actually broke down, it stalled. So who pays all of that money? Professor Misra, what do you make of this? You buy an E20 compatible car, quote unquote, and then you put ethanol blended fuel in it. It starts stalling. You take it to the service center multiple times, and the mental harassment that comes with it. This is one lucky customer. Do you think this is going to turn into a legal trend? This is a legal precedent that has now been set up. And we're also flashing Maruti Suzuki's latest statement. They say, we will replace the car, but we will also challenge this order, in accordance with the law at a higher forum.
Yeah, so Kabir, when this law came into force in 1986, it gave 6 fundamental rights to the consumers. The most important fundamental right is right to information, you see, and the right to safety. The point, Raipur, I think Raipur, you said, no?
Yeah,
Raipur,
Raipur Consumer Forum.
Yeah, Raipur District Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission. We don't call it as a court, we call it as a commission. Now, the district commission gave a perfect verdict. I mean, firstly, though, I want to congratulate TV9 for getting into this conversation in details for the last 1 month. You all have been following it up in a very rigorous manner, which is actually educating and building awareness within your viewers and citizens. So it's a great work. Congratulations, TV9, for doing that. Number one, you see, the verdict has very clearly mentioned that you have to educate the consumer before you sell any product, and educate the consumer what kind of fuel to use, how to use, vagera, vagera. Now, the point is, as the court has already recognized, that it is not possible for the consumer to understand whether the fuel which is getting injected into the tank is of pure, high quality, as per standard fuel which is required for that vehicle. He is only told to take a petrol out of, and E20 has been made now almost mandatory within the supply chain.
Yeah.
But thanks for your vigorous campaign that the government has stalled it now and they're not making it mandatory. They're going to still continue with the choice to the consumer. So that's a very
But
big
that
victory.
choice comes with a price tag, no, Professor? It's either E20 ethanol blended fuel, or you cough up 170, 160 rupees liter for XP100 or for your fine-tuned regular petrol.
So that is why we need choice. We need to understand, and as the the automobile company has very rightly said that they're going to replace it and give them a E20 compliant vehicle within 45 days. So we need to understand that. Otherwise, they'll have to offer up the full refund with compensation, vagara, which they are not, I think, not willing to do that. They want to replace the vehicle and give a E20 compliant vehicle. So that is a good move. And I definitely also want the manufacturer to go for appeal to the State Commission and maybe subsequently to the Supreme Court to get a verdict on what are the rights of the consumers in these kind of cases. Because at the end of the day, the consumer needs to be compensated for any kind of a deliberate act of negligence.
And it's quite weird, Professor, because you can help the viewers understand here. In this, the act that you were highlighting, in this entire legal hearing and the entire legal battle, once the order is out, it's funny that Maruti Suzuki is coming out with their statement now. When the actual battle was going on, where was Maruti Suzuki with all of these statements?
That's why we have a law. You see, the point is that is why we have India is one of the leading country in the world to have a good consumer protection law existing in this country. However, I again want to congratulate the District Commission for giving an early hearing and early order, because that would help. Because otherwise, most of the district commissions are having long pendency of cases. We are not getting prompt redressal. But in this case, that prompt redressal which has been provided, I think it's a great move, and it's a kind of a shot in the arm of the consumer in our country. So I'm very hopeful that now the consumer's voice will be heard by the other automobile companies. They would make sure that they don't commit such errors. They make sure that they make the consumer aware about the features of the vehicle